So the hostel I was staying at last night had bed bugs. Now I'm dealing with a bed bug infestation. It sucks. Just kidding. Not a big deal whatsoever. I've dealt with this many times, and now I'm going to teach you guys what to do if you get bed bugs somewhere. So the first thing is, do not panic. Bed bugs are not a big health problem. They don't cause any diseases. They don't cause allergic reactions. They're not dangerous. Mosquitoes are way worse, and we don't freak out that much about them. The issue with bed bugs is a psychological issue because it's just creepy, and they could get in your stuff. They could follow you around to other places, and you could bring them home, and that's a problem. If you run a hostel or you Airbnb out your house, or you bring them back to your house, bed bugs are a huge problem. But if you're just traveling, not a big deal. So the first thing is try to avoid getting them in the first place. And what I do to do that is I just read reviews on places. If there's anything bedbug related, I don't stay there. And when I'm booking hostels, I try to find places that you're looking at the pictures. Things are made out of metal. Every time I've gotten bed bugs, things have been made out of wood. So metal is better than wood. When I get to a place, I check the bed. Now I'm not looking for bugs because you won't see them. I'm looking for little red or orange marks that are indicators that there are bed bugs there. And if I see that, I'm not staying there. Then I do something called bed bug protocol. I made up this little thing, but I just assume that there's going to be bed bugs and I don't put anything on the bed. If you don't put anything on the bed, then they can't get into any of your stuff. Now, this is in theory. In practice, I've messed it up every single time. Yesterday, I had my toiletry bag and my battery charger on there, so I had to disinfect those items. If you get bit, you put tea tree oil on it. The tea tree oil makes the itching go away completely. Now, when you're in bed, I go into bed with as little clothing as possible, just so that if there's bed bugs, they don't go into any of my stuff. And I sleep with my phone next to me. And what I'll do is if I get bit by something, I turn my flashlight on real quick and I look at the bed. Most of the time, you're just getting bit by mosquitoes or something else. But if you look at the bed and you see a bed bug, you know that's what it is. They're fast, but they're not that fast. If you see the bed bug, obviously get out of the bed, switch rooms, whatever, leave the next day. And if you don't have anything on the bed, you don't need to do anything because they couldn't have gotten anywhere. Good example of that, I was in Poland, exact thing happened, bed bug bit me, I shined the light, I saw it, and I just went, slept on the couch, and then checked out the next day, done, didn't have to do anything. Now yesterday, I had a few things on the bed, I had to disinfect them. So now we'll talk about how to get rid of the bed bugs once they're in your stuff or whatever it is. So the first method is alcohol. Toiletries, electronics, anything like that, just wipe down with alcohol. They don't particularly like those things, but just to be safe, wipe them down with alcohol. That's all I had to do yesterday. I have little alcohol swabs in my first aid kit. I used that, and then I went and I just bought like a little thing of pure alcohol, and I just doused my whole toiletry bag in it just to be safe. Now, if you have clothes or your bag or whatever, if they get somewhere there, then you have to use heat. So heat is the number one way to kill them. If you just put stuff in a washing machine, for instance, with hot water, it will kill the adults. It won't kill the eggs. So what you need to do is just put it in a dryer for 40 minutes. You don't even need to wash it. Just stick your stuff in a dryer for 40 minutes. I've had a big infestation in Malaysia. Pretty much what I did is I just went to a laundromat and I threw all my stuff, other than my electronics, of course, into a dryer, put it on for 40 minutes on high, done. So those are the two main methods. If something you can't do either of those. So for instance, my passport, I could wipe down the outside, but can't wipe the inner pages. What you do with those things is you just put them in a Ziploc bag and you quarantine them. It takes 6 to 10 days for eggs to hatch. I just wait 2 weeks and just take a look at it and make sure that there's nothing there. And there you have it. That's how you get rid of bed bugs. It should take under an hour to just disinfect your stuff. You shouldn't have anything to disinfect because you didn't put anything on the bed. And then you want to make sure you don't bring them home with you. And what I do is even if I've had no bed bug issues on a trip, when I get home, I put all my stuff in the dryer, I wipe it down with alcohol, and I quarantine a few things. Now, in the rare case that you don't have access to a laundromat, as happened to me in Cuba when I got bed bugs, is I had a few articles of clothing. Actually, I hung them up to dry on the bed frame. So I was going through bed bug protocol, but I needed to dry some clothes, and I boiled them. So there's a few, other ways around it. You could actually put stuff in like a dry bag and then put it in like the backseat of a car if you're in a hot, sunny place, because it's like a greenhouse effect in the car. But the dryer is the best way. And there you have it. That's it. It's not a big deal, very easily solvable, and keep your stuff off the bed.